Hello and welcome to the latest belated exercise in relieving boredom. My name is JackFISHer, and I'm the new minister in charge of geeky insanity. We are going through a dark and tough time with the outbreak of the coronavirus and how it has affected all of our lives, as well as the supply of toilet paper. So today I thought I'd do something to help you guys out by giving you something to talk about other than this freaking virus, and hopefully give you guys a helpful way of relieving boredom while we all self-isolate. Today I'm going to give you my 10 personal recommendations for movies to watch during quarantine. So without further ado, kick back, chillax, grab some popcorn, or in my case don't, cause I hate popcorn, and if you feel the same way as me, I don't know, grab some Doritos, they're good. Enjoy the show! For my first recommendation, I'm going to recommend Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is the best Spider-Man movie ever made for a multitude of reasons. For one, the animation is absolutely breathtaking and really creative in the way that it makes you feel like you're literally watching a comic book come to life before your very eyes, which really works in the action scenes as well, all of which incorporate the different characteristics and power sets of all the different Spider-Men brilliantly. And speaking of the Spider-Man, oh my days, I love these guys. Every character in this movie has characteristics that set them apart from each other in the best way in terms of who they are as people, as well as the way each character is animated. Everything about this movie is awesome. The characters, the story, the pacing, the action, and of course the animation is glorious. Plus, even better, it's a movie that everyone can enjoy. It's not just a movie for kids. Anyone can watch this movie and have a total blast. Up next on the list is Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Believe me when I tell you this, the first and in my opinion the best Indiana Jones movie is one of the most entertaining movies you will ever watch. Not only does this movie feature some of the most insane set pieces ever put to screen, the movie is also filled to the brim with realistic, brutal, yet fun action, hilariously sly humor, and a terrific performance from Harrison Ford as the title character. It's a classic Spielberg adventure movie about an archaeologist with a fancy hat and an even fancier whip, searching for an ancient artifact whilst fighting Nazis. I mean, what's not to love? Well, except for the Nazis, obviously, because, you know, Nazis. But still, coming up next is the Grand Budapest Hotel. Starring Ralph Fiennes as Gustav, who gives possibly his most profanely elegant performance to date, this story wrapped in a book which is conveniently wrapped in a movie is arguably the best movie that Wes Anderson has ever done. The film features a hilariously intriguing mystery plot with equally hilarious Pink Panther-style villains with equally hilarious set pieces and character interactions, and did I also mention that this movie is freaking hilarious? I have loved this movie ever since I first watched it, and every time I watch it I love it even more. All the characters are spectacular in their own ways, with my personal favourite being Gustav and his lobby boy Zero, played excellently by Tony Revolori. It's an extremely quirky comedy that will have you laughing your ass off for the majority of the runtime, and trust me, that is pretty much almost guaranteed purely because Wes Anderson made this. But you'll be the judge of that if you decide to take my advice and give it a watch. My fourth pick goes to Baby Driver. Edgar Wright's movies always strike the perfect balance between being incredibly well made and being incredibly entertaining. I love this movie because of the story, the characters, the performances, and the action. That said, what really gets me about this movie is that it's essentially a musical, but not in the way you'd think. Literally everything from the gunshots to the car doors opening and slamming shut, and even mundane things such as placing money on the tables is edited to the beat of the music, and it makes this movie so much more entertaining to watch. Even better, the movie doesn't feel pretentious, boring, and it never feels like it's showing off and being like, oh, look at me, I'm so new and original and clever. The movie does exactly what it sets out to do, being an entertaining action comedy musical about the criminal underworld with a very sweet and engaging romance thrown in. Also, you are gonna have a shit ton of fun looking for all the little details and references sprinkled throughout this movie. Hell, I've watched this movie around 20 times, and every single time I watch this movie, I find something new. This whole movie is something new and original, and I assure you, it is a thrill ride that is worth a watch. Kicking off the halfway point is The Nice Guys. I am not being hyperbolic when I say that The Nice Guys is one of the funniest movies ever made. I genuinely believe that. But it's also one of the best buddy cop detective stories ever made. Look, I know they're actually PIs, but it fits in the genre, so just Leave me alone. Yeah. This is a movie that will have you laughing your ass off for quite a bit of its runtime, and I don't say the whole runtime because there's also plenty of heartfelt character moments to get into as well. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling play off each other extremely well. Their chemistry in this film is so amazing that it practically carries the whole movie. Not that the rest of the movie needs carrying, but still. The action sequences are awesome, despite how grounded in realism they are, and the directing from Shane Black is great. Black absolutely nails the 70s vibe of the film with the visuals, the cinematography, costumes, and overall look of the film, as well as in its soundtrack. If you're up for a fun time, then you will not regret watching The Nice Guys. Next up, we got Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy blew me away the first time I saw it, and since then, it has become one of my favorite movies of all time, and in my opinion, the absolute best movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie is jam-packed with funny and likable characters, dialogue that is really well written, delivered, and absolutely hilarious. In fact, this movie in general is absolutely hilarious. Okay, I'll stop. The action sequences are incredibly well filmed and very creative in terms of how they progress and how they look visually. The film is one of the most visually stunning movies I have ever seen, with truly jaw-dropping effects, character designs, makeup, sets, and art direction. While I do love pretty much, everything about this movie, one of the biggest reasons I love it so much is because of how relatable this movie is, and it's still surprising to me even now how much this film resonates with me. Now that I'm done gushing about this movie, I seriously recommend you put this in your quarantine watch list because it's like Avengers Light, except in space, and just as entertaining. Following that, we've got Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The second appearance from Edgar Wright on this list, this video game disguised as a movie disguised as a video game, is without a doubt the craziest movie on this list, and I mean that as a compliment. The movie makes use of a video game style structure and narrative to tell a completely off-the-wall story of love and the building of self-esteem, wrapped in a nice wee little bubble of Edgar Wright's signature blend of comedy and action, as well as some of the most dazzling and creative visual effects you will ever see. If you are a video game fan, particularly a fan of games such as Street Fighter or Tekken, you will find a lot to enjoy in this movie, but whether you're a video game fanatic or not, this movie is a ton of fun to watch. Next up, Star Wars. Of course there's a Star Wars movie on this list. I mean, have you seen my profile pic? I mean, they're the only two words that can make me switch accents upon saying them, and apparently every other word in the English dictionary. Yeah. My accent changes a lot. Why recommend this particular Star Wars movie though? You guys know I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I love most of these movies, but I picked the original Star Wars because I think it's the most entertaining. It is led by a group of incredibly charming characters, has iconic lines of dialogue, jaw-dropping action sequences, and visual effects that still look incredible even to this day. I also picked it because this movie tells a story and has themes that I think anyone can relate to. It's a story that resonates with people on so many levels, whether it's feeling like you're destined for more or leaving everything you've ever known to embark on a new journey in your life. The Empire Strikes Back may be my favorite, but I feel this movie is the most fun and easily the most emotionally resonating of all the films, at least in my opinion. And no, I will not be calling this movie A New Hope. Why? Because it's stupid! I mean, why the And now, Ferengo. If you think Scott Pilgrim is a weird pick, you're right, but wait till you get a load of this one. This movie is filled to the brim with phenomenally funny voice acting, weird and wonderful characters, and truly gorgeous animation that truly looks photorealistic at times. That and the movie makes excellent use of its 1700s style setting while also cleverly making fun of its Come on, Jack. You got this. You got this. You can say it. You can say it. Say it with me now. Anthropomorphic cast of characters and their characteristics. Point is, the movie is absolutely hilarious. Okay, alright, last one, I swear. It's like a Pixar movie if it were a dark comedy and a spaghetti western. This may be considered an unpopular opinion of mine, but I think this movie features what I think is the best performance Johnny Depp has ever given. This movie is weird as hell, but that's the beauty of it, and I seriously implore you to give it a watch. And for my final pick, Bumblebee. Yes, I'm actually recommending Bumblebee, and for good reason. On one hand, you get a really fun action blockbuster with awesome action sequences, great humor, great performances, and terrific special effects. On the other hand, you've got a Transformers movie that's actually great and not this. But on the third, you also got an emotional, sweet story about friendship, learning to believe in yourself, and a super cute robot who is also a complete and total badass. That and he can transform into a mini. Or more specifically, and more correctly because I had to look this up, a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. While it does borrow elements from other films like The Iron Giant and E.T. as well, as a movie, it's good by pretty much all standards, and as a Transformers movie, it's fantastic. So those are 10 movies I recommend you watch during quarantine. I hope you find this list helpful, and if you didn't, that's totally fine. These are only 10 movies that I recommend you watch. There's billions of movies you can watch. Hell, just because I only recommend 1 out of 11 Star Wars movies doesn't mean I'm saying you should not watch the whole saga. Watch all of them if you want to. I'm gonna. But hey, that's just me. And whether or not you enjoy them is up to you. Thank you so much as always for watching. I hope you all are staying safe and washing your hands. Until next time, live long and prosper, and may the Force be with you.